All right. So welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for today's BeWell education session. Today we're going to be talking about what to expect and how to prepare for your biometric screening. And for anybody watching this recorded, this is being recorded on April 19th, 2022. I say that because if you happen to find this recording in the future, I just want you to make sure that you're referring to the current program year because we do have some changes every year to our program. So this is for the program year ending October 31st, 2022. So this is our game plan for today. We are going to talk about what to expect during biometric screenings. We're going to talk about health scoring and our premium incentives. And then we're going to explore ways to improve your health before your biometric screening. It is not too late to make some easy lifestyle changes to help boost your score. So first off, just why complete a screening? That's a common question. So there's a few reasons. One is really we just want to give the opportunity for our employees to better understand their health and subsequently be able to better manage their health. Really, we've seen millions of Americans during COVID defer or even just skip their preventative health care. And so we hope this is an opportunity for you all to get back on track. And this is just kind of an easy, convenient way to take that first step. The other thing is screenings are one of two activities that we have every year to qualify you to earn your insurance premium discount for the next calendar year. So right now we're working towards our 2023 premium insurance, premium discount, excuse me. And so that's another motivator. And I always remind everyone that participation is voluntary. We very much hope that you'll participate, but it's not required. So kind of a broad overview of our insurance discount. So there's two components, the biometric screening and the health risk assessment survey. If you do both of those, you will qualify for that 2023 insurance discount. The level of your discount, your tier, just depends on your health score. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But just a really important reminder that you'll want to complete both of those activities by the deadline, which is October 31st. And an easy way to remember that is Halloween. So if you get those done by Halloween, you are good to go. So a little bit more specific on what to expect for specifically for on-site screenings. And I will take a pause and just say you don't have to do an on-site screening. You're more than welcome to go to your own provider and complete that. There is a form that you'll need to take. And we can talk more about that at the end if anybody has questions. I'm going to focus on on-site screenings for the purposes of this webinar. So for on-site screenings at UCA this year, we've got phase 1 open right now. That's going to be May 10th through the 27th. So scheduling is available. I've got my intern, Emily. She's going to post a little bit more information for you in the chat, some FAQs and how to schedule. We will have a second phase starting at the end of July, but they are not scheduling those appointments yet. So sit tight. After we get through the July 4th holiday, I will be emailing campus with more information and kind of an alert that those opportunities are open. But right now, scheduling May 10th through 27th, and check out the chat for more information. And there may be some things coming in the chat. I'm not checking the box right now, but if you have questions along the way, please put them in the chat. I will get to those. We'll have lots of time for Q&A at the end. So just moving on, there's no cost to on-site screenings. Eligible employees, again, those are employees that are actively enrolled, they're benefits eligible, and they're currently enrolled in our health insurance plan, either the point of service or the high deductible plan. It doesn't matter which one. And the appointments are completed in about 15 minutes. Usually it's a little bit less than that, but I say 15 minutes just for your planning purposes. They're quick and easy. You'll be in and out. Our friends at the Student Health Clinic have done this. This will be our 3rd year now. They're great partners. They're very well trained in this process. And so they're very efficient and they're very friendly and they're really good at what they do. They'll get you taken care of. And then just a reminder about confidentiality. So the Student Health Clinic is just like any other clinic. They follow HIPAA best practices. They are very committed to ensuring the protection, the privacy and the security, excuse me, of your protected health information. So they will not be sharing your health information with your supervisors or your colleagues. All of that is kept confidential. So a little bit more about what to expect. Before your appointment, you're going to want to fast for at least 4 hours, and you're going to drink plenty of water. And then it's always a good idea to bring your bear card. If you're like me and you don't remember your bear card number, I don't know why, I just can't do it. You may need to reference that if they can't find you in the system or something like that. So it's always good to bring that just in case. So what's going to happen during the screening? So they will measure your height, your weight, waist circumference. Important note here is optional now. For this program year, you do not have to include that. Some people want to, and that's great. They will give you the option. And then you can say, yes, I'd like to include that. But you can also skip that part. And I'm referring again to waist circumference. You can skip that part. Even if you include it though, as your screening and as part of your screening, it's not going to be included as part of your score. And I'll talk about scoring here in just a minute. What else? So we're going to do a blood pressure reading. We're going to do a finger stick, which measures your blood sugar. They're going to do kind of the traditional blood draw or the venipuncture. Kind of in the elbow area, in the inner elbow, excuse me. And then they'll also take a urine sample. And that's why it's good to drink plenty of water before your appointment. And again, we're going to leave plenty of time at the end for questions, but this is kind of the flow of the appointment. So then people ask, okay, so well, what tests are you running when you take my blood and do all that? So we again are trying to give you the best snapshot that we can of your current health status. So, and some of these categories overlap, but this is a good kind of general way to explain this. So we're checking for your organ function. So things like your kidney, liver function is really important to check up on. Your risk for heart disease. So things like HDL and LDL cholesterol, as well as your triglycerides. Your risk for heart attack and stroke is measured using blood pressure. We take a blood pressure reading, check on that. And then for assigned sex males age 40 and older, we do include a prostate-specific antigen as part of that blood panel, which measures your risk for prostate cancer. Excuse me. And then for anybody on the finger stick that tests 110 or higher, we will run a hemoglobin A1C as part of the blood panel as well. A1C is really the best way to describe that is like an average over the last 2 to 3 months of your blood sugar levels. And this is a lot of information, y'all, but you can always access this on our website. I'm not going to have Emily link to this in the chat because I don't want to clog up the chat too much. But it's always available at uca.edu/BeWell. There's a tab there for biometric screenings, and it'll be right there for you. So let's talk a little bit about scoring. We do not score on all of those things that I just talked about, but we do score on 7 risk factors. So those are blood pressure, your cholesterol ratio, your HDL cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, your triglycerides, your glucose, and then your nicotine status. This is a very small, this probably is coming up kind of small on your screen. So again, this is available on our website. It's always available for you to click on so you can understand. But I'm putting this on the screen to help show you how just a small improvement in one or a few of these health factors can increase your score and thereby potentially bump you up to a higher tier discount. So no matter your score, you just participate, you do your screening, you do your survey, you automatically get that $20 per month discount in 2023, no matter what. If you score 75 or higher, or you improve by 5 points if you've previously screened, then you're going to bump up to that $40 per month discount level. So there's multiple ways that you can improve. But again, just side by side, you can see that just a small improvement in factors like your blood pressure or your cholesterol go a long way to improving your score. So in talking about improving your score, just a disclaimer, before you start making any lifestyle changes, we always recommend talking to your doctor. That's always a good recommendation. They know you better than we know you. They know your specific situation. They know the medications that you may be on. They may know about your limitations. So talk with them before making any drastic changes. That's always the best practice. The second thing you can start thinking about is if you have talked to your doctor and you are on a regimen for controlling things like high blood pressure or high cholesterol or managing your diabetes, now is the time to start doing those things. Get on those medications that you've been prescribed if maybe you haven't been that compliant, and start following all those instructions that your provider has given you. That will help you in the biometric screening process. If you need those medications, then you should be taking them. And that will, again, kind of bring you back to that baseline where you want to be, where your physician wants you. And then the other thing is, I hear a lot, I want to get healthy. Well, I love that. That's a very positive mindset. That's great, but that's not a plan. And so you'll hear me say a lot how important it is to have a wellness goal established. I use the SMART wellness goal model a lot in a lot of our different programming. And there's a worksheet that Emily is going to link to in the chat if she hasn't done that already. That's really handy. It just helps you establish really specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound goals so that you really have a plan. And this will always lead to increased level of success with whatever you're trying to do in whatever area of wellness you're trying to work on. So check that out. And then some other things to improve your health score. So you can quit smoking and stop using nicotine products. You saw in the scoring that is a big chunk of that score. And if you are currently using nicotine and you stop, you will automatically get bumped up to that top tier level because there'll be an improvement factor if you screen in the past. So that's an easy way. The other thing is just to get moving, increase your activity level. Do I want you to go to the gym and exercise for 3 hours? No, I'm talking about adding 5 or 10 minutes of walking to your day, adding more stretch breaks, getting up from your desk, playing outside with your kids more, gardening, chores, whatever it is, just get moving, get your heart rate up, will help a lot. You can also think about changing your diet to reduce sodium and saturated fats and trans fats and sugars. And then you're going to want to add more of those healthy options. So fruits, veggies, whole grains, fiber-rich foods, and those healthy fats. And then thinking about your intake of alcohol is also really important. In doing all these things, don't forget about those SMART goals. So you'll want to have a very specific plan, potentially in one or more of these areas to help get you to that next level, whatever that means for you, or whatever success is for you. So as I mentioned in the beginning, it is not too late to make some simple changes to boost your health score, but also more importantly, to just improve your overall health. So we're going to use 6 weeks as just kind of a general time frame. I know we're talking about screenings in May. So if you're thinking about screening in May, especially towards the end of May at this point, you've got about 6 weeks. Well, then it's totally realistic to lose between 6 and 12 pounds if that's something you're interested in doing. A healthy rate of weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds per week. That's also a safe rate of weight loss. So that's something to consider. So yes, that is possible. It is possible with diet and exercise to lower your blood pressure and to improve your cholesterol levels. So you want to lower that LDL, or what we call the bad cholesterol, and you want to work towards raising that HDL, or that good cholesterol. You can also work on lowering your triglycerides and your glucose levels. So again, all things that can be improved with more activity, with improved diet, and a specific mention about alcohol. A lot of people don't know this, but if you drink alcohol, it is broken down into, it's broken down and then kind of rebuilt into cholesterol and triglycerides in your liver. And so that's a really easy way to kind of limit or just watch that amount of alcohol you're consuming. And that'll really help on that cholesterol and triglycerides, on those 2 risk factors. So just a little tip there. So lots of things that you can do though. And again, in one or more of these areas, you may just want to focus on one, but as a combination, it can go a long way to improving your score. Okay, so I've said all those things, but change is not easy. That's easier said than done sometimes, to do all those things. We're busy. We've got a lot going on. COVID has not made things easier the last 2 years. So we know that. So we've got lots of support available for you that costs nothing. So Health Check 360, they've got health coaches that are available to you. There's unlimited inbound health coaching. So you can access more information on our website. Emily's probably posted that in the chat for me. So you can access that. We've got a campus dietitian nutritionist, and he is awesome, and he meets with employees for free. So we can take advantage of that. Give a big shout out to our friends at the Hyper. You have free access to our fitness center, our pool, our group exercise classes, great, great amenity here on our campus. And you just need to use your Bear card to access that. There's no charge for employees. They do have personal training, which is not free, but I mention it because they do have very competitive rates and some people may be interested in that. So I've included that here as well. Quit smoking help. There is a program. It's not related to the BeWell that I manage here at UCA, but it's called BeWell Arkansas. It's a state program, and they have lots of resources and assistance for quitting tobacco. So you can check that out. And then lastly, really, really important, and I never shy away from this topic. Sometimes our physical health is very much impacted by our mental health. So if you are needing to meet with a counselor, we have the Employee Assistance Program available to you. There's no cost for you or your family members. So they're happy to meet with you in person here in Conway or in Little Rock. They also have telehealth appointments or telephone visits as well. So they will meet you literally where you are in whatever way is best for you and your schedule. Okay, so I'm flashing this on the screen now. I am going to open up for Q&A now because I know that that might be the meat of our time together here. We've got plenty of time, but if you're just joining us and you need to run, that's fine. You can take a snapshot or a snip or a photo on your cell phone and load this up to your account to get your 5 points. But if you have questions, please stay on. But I wanted to flash this now because some people may be watching this recorded and you can still get your 5 points by doing what I just said. So take a screenshot, take a grab, somehow load this up and get your points that way. And then Emily, you can go ahead, if you haven't already, go ahead and load the certificate of attendance. We've also had a PDF. I generated a PDF and she's loading that into the chat as well. I'm on a laptop, so I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen and open it up to anybody that may have questions. And I'm also going to check the chat here just a quick second. Okay. Okay, a question in the chat. Are other parts of the screening optional in addition to waist circumference? That's a good question. At this time, all the other ones are still required. If you need accommodation, please let me know. You can reach out to me on email or give me a call, or if you prefer, you can contact Health Check 360 and talk about your options with them. We are an inclusive program, so we will work with you if you need an accommodation. Is there anything else? That was a great question. Okay, let's see. Sometimes eating or sleeping patterns in the preceding days may impact the test results. Is it possible to redo the screening in a week or so? That's also a good question. The answer to that, unfortunately, is no. And the reason is because if we allowed redos, I think our employees would probably just constantly redo to try to get that score up. So we do recognize that these screenings are just a snapshot in time. If you've had a really high sugar meal in the days leading before, or you've got white coat syndrome and your blood pressure is a little bit high that day, we do understand those things happen. So we do always have the reasonable alternative standard process, which is really an alternate way. If you don't get that score that you want, talk to me, talk to Health Check, either way, and we can lay out those options for you in terms of, another way to reach that score that you need. So just reach out for any assistance. Again, I'm more than willing to talk with you. Anything you talk with me about is confidential, but some employees prefer to talk to Health Check 360 and their clinical team, and that's fine too. They're just available, just an email or phone call away. Let's see. Okay, good question. Do you know your score the same day as the test? Okay, that will depend. It depends on how close to October 31st you get. And I say that because a lot of our employees will screen at the last minute, and that is the busiest time for our team at Health Check 360 processing those results. So the later you get in the program, the longer the lag time. If you screen over the summer, if you're screening on site, the student health clinic, they get their results usually within 24 hours and get those loaded up. In that case, you should probably have your score report from Health Check within like 3 business days, 4 business days, 5 business days, something like that, maybe even sooner than that, just depending on their workflow. But please be aware that if you are doing it in October, when our employees and then all their other clients are also trying to get their stuff in on time, it potentially could be up to 10 business days. So that's a good question. I will say though, if you screen on site here at the Student Health Clinic, I can't speak to your own provider, but if you're screening here on site and something comes up on your blood work that is concerning and needs immediate attention, do not worry, they will contact you. We are not going to leave anybody hanging. Just because it takes Health Check a little bit of time to process on their end, our clinical team here at UCA is still on the ball and they will get in touch with you and let you know what's going on so that you can follow up on that. That's a great question. Anything else? Okay. Well, I'm going to end the recording. Thank you so much for joining us today. And again, please look in the chat. There's lots of great links there. Anybody watching this recorded, you can always go to our website, uca.edu/BeWell. It's a great resource for you, or you can just email me, ucabewell@uca.edu. We'll get you in touch with me. I'm going to end the recording. And if anybody wants to stay on and just ask questions that way, feeling a little less pressure with the recording turned off, we can do that too.